Hello world, and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are looking at the energy of your next week. So I have 3 piles in front of us and I have the timestamps down below. At any time you can pick your pile and go to that timestamp and read, or here, let me read your fortune for the next, your energy for the next week. I also have some objects that I will be placing on here. So this is your opportunity to use your intuition to pick the number, pile, or object that feels right for you, and then I use my intuition to read them for you. Remember, these are general readings, so take what resonates. If you get into a pile and you're like, this is not me, you are always welcome to listen to something else. And I do these every week. They're timeless, so you can even pick a different video. But I will also give you objects. So we're gonna pick a plant today. This is a sugar skull this is a Thimble cactus. It is grafted. So there's actually 2 cacti on here. They're 2 different plants, but they are grafted together, kind of like Frankenstein. And then we've got a cat planter here. This is a Graptoveria silver star. And then we've got a sugar skull pumpkin, and this is an Echeveria. So that's those are what we have to choose from. You can pause the video and choose, or I think you've already chosen and I'm just talking to myself right now. So we'll see what you're reading. Hello group 1. If you picked the sugar skull here, sugar skull mug with the grafted cactus, you are in the right place. I'm just gonna put this over here and we're going to pull some cards. So I don't have cards out because I'm recording this portion first. Shuffling on camera, and this is overall energy of your next week, and it is an animal spirit card. So overall energy for group 1 for next week, and we get the frog spirit. Clear out clutter. You know, the full moon is coming up. It's a great time to release things. And also, you know, when we get the frog spirit, frogs are great for reminding us, I'm hearing being adaptive, and then also, you know, because of change. So first of all, with frogs, like, they can breathe through their skin, so they're adaptive in that way. So I feel like, you know, taking deep cleansing breaths is going to be helpful for you for this week. I also feel like, you know, there might be some change coming. And we're getting ready for some sort of transition. That might be why we're talking about clearing out clutter here with the frog. But, you know, butterflies usually are the ones who get all the glory for the transformations. Because, you know, they change from a caterpillar to a beautiful butterfly. But frogs are really fantastic too. And they go from being like a tadpole to a frog, and their transition is a little bit more open. Like, you can see the steps. It's not just like a, you know, a snap your fingers and things change kind of transition. So that might be meaningful for you as well, that if you want to get from one point to the next, you might figure out, okay, this is where I grow my legs, this is where I lose my tail, this is where I hop onto land, kind of thing. So mark out those steps. But this is a really cute frog. I love frogs. So they're also, you know, they're amphibians. So they kind of go between 2 different worlds, the world of water and the world of land. So this could be talking about also dipping into your intuition. Water represents that, you know, that wade through that swamp. But don't forget that you you know, to also be firmly planted on land. So ground yourself. Let's see what else we have. So I'm working with 3 decks today. I'm going to get 4 cards out of this one. 4 of Wands, nice. I usually don't work with this deck. 2 of Pentacles reversed. That could be talking about clearing out clutter and moving on. And 2 more cards. 2 more cards here for our group 1 for next week. And we've got, this is the 6 of Pentacles, but in reverse. Okay. And this one wants to come out. And this is, wow, 4 of Swords in reverse. So very nice. It is kind of like time for you to take a break from your rest. So if you kind of have been dragging your feet on something, it's go time, right? We've got this clear out clutter. 4 of Swords in reverse talks about like kind of like waking up, moving forward, putting, you know, getting out there and doing something. And then we also have 4 of Wands. So we have 2 4s. 1 4 upright, 1 4 in reverse. I feel like, you know, whatever you're doing it from a stable position. So when I talked about, you know, setting out that plan, like going through those phases, that step by step by step, being stable might be important to you. Or if you are concerned about it, just remember you are probably more stable position than you think you are, and trust yourself. 4 of Wands is a card of, well, 4s are a card of stability, right? We've got 1 upright and 1 in reverse. I kind of feel like though that they work together rather than apart from each other. And that's kind of like what this transition is, like clearing out, just because the whole reason that you're clearing something out is to bring something else in. And you're letting go of things so that you have room for other things. It's kind of like you can't, I mean, you can, but you shouldn't go shopping for new clothes if you don't have room for it in your closet. It's time to pull those things out, to let those things go. When we're talking about this though, it's probably, and we have 4 of Swords in reverse, it probably could be, you know, negative thinking, negative thoughts, something that's holding you back. And it may have been something that served a purpose at one point, and it's not serving a purpose anymore. And I'm thinking of that because of the 2 of Pentacles in reverse here. 2 of Pentacles talks about balance. We're kind of like almost a juggling act going on, and you've got things here and things there, and you're going in between them, kind of like the frog. It's kind of like though this week it's talking about picking a path. And when we've got the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, this path is for you. It's almost more, I don't want to say selfish, but definitely a path for you, and you thinking about yourself and not thinking about expectations of others or what other people want. And I feel like that might be here why the 4 of Swords is in reverse, because I mean, 4 of Swords upright talks about arrest, but Swords talks about thoughts. And we have to let them, you know, let whatever thoughts go, whatever negative thinking. Sometimes we pick up that negative thinking from other people. A lot of times we do. Most of the times we do. If it's negative thinking because of something that, you know, your 5th grade teacher told you and you've just always thought it. Or negative thinking of you thought that a person like you, however you define yourself, wouldn't be able to accomplish this thing, whatever that thing is, because of societal expectations. It's time to break out of that. And again, I feel like things are really very stable for you, and you're in a really good position to do that. That you're done with this balancing act. You're done with this, you know, it feels like you're just really it's getting wobbly. It's getting hard to do. It's getting hard to balance. And it feels like it's getting hard to balance because of others' expectations. And I'm getting that here from the Six of Pentacles reversed and the Four of Swords reversed. Six of Pentacles upright talks about kind of like working together. Not so much in this particular card because this is a pip deck, meaning that the minors, which have all come out here, aren't fully illustrated. But you can kind of see with the skulls here that they're kind of like all connected, right? And the Six of Pentacles asks you to like think about your place in society and where you are in charity and giving and receiving and kind of being in the flow of that. But I feel like in this instance that you're not feeling like you're in the flow of that because you're not in the position that you're meant to be. You're not where you're supposed to be. And you're not where you're supposed to be because something has changed. It's time to clear out the clutter. It's time to morph. It's time to grow from that tadpole to that frog. I'm going to pull some more cards here, see if we have patience, see if we have some more advice. Okay, cool. Very cool. So both of these are full moon cards. We've got 36 green corn moon patience, and we've got 16 full moon power. So, and I feel like this power is very much related to these four cards. First of all, just, 16 is 4 squared, right? So it is, and you've got 2 4 cards here. So when I was telling you that you are in a position of stability, I feel like that's really reflected here in this power card, that it's telling you just it's time to be you. It's time to step up in your power. It's time to go out in the universe as your true self. Let go of the rest of this. And then we've got green corn moon patience. I feel like, she's walking here through a portal. She's walking towards a point. And it's really interesting that we have the this balloon that she's carrying with her. I kind of feel like whatever you carry with you should be light. It should be and it should just something that almost like carries you. If that makes sense, kind of like this balloon. Joy, happiness, love, those are things that come to mind that would be something that you carry with you that actually carries you. But patience, I think, is really important. It's seeing this point out here and it's understanding that there's going to be a phase and a phase and a phase. It's picking checkpoints. It's kind of like what I was talking about with this frog spirit when we're clearing out the clutter. And the difference between the frog and the butterfly is the frog's metamorphosis is pretty clear to find. Like you can see when they're changing. You can see when they go from that tadpole and they start growing legs and they start losing their tail and they, just start moving along. So it's understanding that this may take a minute to get to where you want to go. But I feel like this week is really important to setting out that intention and understanding, believing in yourself. I'm really hearing believing in yourself here. And, it's time to get moving on that. So if you've been writing down goals, if you've been journaling, if you've been thinking of something, let's put our foot forward. Let's start this journey. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step, and go for it. So that's what I have for you, group 1. I hope you have a fantastic week. I think you will. It's just figuring out like what you're juggling and what's not worth juggling anymore and going from there. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Hello, group 2. If you picked this Graptoveria silver star in the cat planter, you are in the right spot. And I don't have cards out because we are shuffling on camera. So I'm using 3 different decks today, starting off with this one to get our overall energy for the week for you, group 2. Overall energy for the week for group 2. Oh, sorry. My camera doesn't like motion. It's getting all blurry. And we've got the Buffalo Spirit, an abundant universe will provide. Very nice. I don't think I've pulled the Buffalo Spirit before. I love the feathers. I love the war paint ready to go out and kind of manifest. And it's number 10. Yeah, definitely amazing manifesting power. Gratitude is really important for you this week, but you have extraordinary potential available to you. And it's when you adopt a abundance mindset. It's really interesting. I think October's the harvest moon. I say that's interesting because generally, and that's coming up this week. If you're watching this video when I upload it, that generally represents abundance. It's kind of like the time when all of your hard work is coming to fruition. It's time to enjoy that. Ooh, we've got death reversed, La Morte. Is it La Morte or La Morte? Oh, it's written both ways. I guess it depends on the language, but it's reversed. It's a pretty wicked death card. It's not literal death. But I love that he's got that sickle there. It's kind of like going back to the harvest. We have Knave of Cups. And then what is this one? This is the Queen of Wands. I don't work with this deck a lot, but it's got some really interesting illustrations. So, and the High Priestess. Lovely. Okay, so I wonder if you've been feeling disconnected a little bit, and the reason I say that is because we've got the Knave of Cups. Reversed along with the Queen of Wands reversed. These are two cards that we would probably ideally like to have upright if we're feeling great about ourselves, if we know like kind of what path we're going on, kind of what confidence we have. And I'm wondering if you're, maybe coming into this week not certain about your path. I hope that the Buffalo Spirit coming out and feeling that abundance is like helpful to you, that you understand like ultimately we've got the High Priestess here, who is somebody who's just, oh, it's interesting that she's like reaching in here for the skeleton. I'm just taking in the imagery here, but ultimately, like she is somebody who's extremely confident and very much focused. She's extremely confident, extremely focused, and she's focused on her craft. When we've got death coming out in reverse, I'm feeling like this is not the time to make a change. This is and so with this uncertainty, like you may I don't know if it's in your career or in a job or just in something in general, and you're like, I don't know, this isn't really panning out the way that I thought it would. I think the Buffalo Spirit is saying like, hang in there, just keep going, just a little bit longer. It's your abundance is waiting for you. It's talking about stepping up here in your confidence. I mean, this is the High Priestess here, and in this specific card, it looks like she's reaching in and maybe reanimating this skeleton. So that takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of confidence to do that. And I feel like this is kind of a message that you need to reaffirm your skill and confidence and focus in what you've been doing. you know, I'm kind of feeling the Knight of Pentacles energy here, even though he's not here. But the reason why is because we've got the Death in reverse, and kind of with the Buffalo Spirit as well, is kind of like keep going. Buffalo, they are not, what do I want to say here? Like, they just go through their obstacles. They're not finesse. They just go, they just like blast through and go through those obstacles very confident. Like, High Priestess in the Buffalo Spirit is like, hey, you kind of need a pep talk here in your confidence if it's dropped. You kind of need to understand that, you know, there are cycles, there are ups and downs, there are obstacles, and you're meant to overcome them. Focus, again, is something that could be really important to you. Keep going on your path. It's not time to change things up yet. So with this Knave of Cups reversed, it feels like you've run into a roadblock. But again, it doesn't feel like it's anything that you can't overcome. It's just maybe you didn't anticipate it. Maybe you didn't maybe you didn't think, maybe you didn't even think that you would hit it. And it has created a little bit of self-doubt in you. Cups are like emotions. So this could be, even if you logically understand that you want to complete this task or this job or apply for this job or, go down this path. Even if you logically know that you should be able to accomplish it, there's just something going on right now that, and maybe it's things that shouldn't even be obstacles that are coming up. Again, if you're watching this video when I'm close to uploading it, last I checked, there were like 5 planets in retrograde. So those kinds of things just kind of happen. Like it may not feel like things are flowing for you. And then when we have the Queen of Wands in reverse, I mean, this is someone who is, again, that's why I keep going back to talking about confidence, because the Queen of Wands is somebody who's very confident and very courageous. But, when she's in reverse, it feels like we've got some self-doubt here. She can also represent like self-respect. So I don't know if it is some sort of doubt in what you're doing. Like maybe you weren't fully committed to what you were doing in the first place, because maybe it's something that, I don't know, it feels like it's something that's out of your comfort zone. But this is just saying keep going, and you shouldn't be, you should definitely, like the High Priestess trumps any doubts that are coming in here with the Knave of Cups and the Queen of Wands being in reverse. It's kind of like try again and keep going. And we've got Fear. Waxing gibbous. So I love this, and I love this. It's perfect kind of here for this reading, because it feels like fear is something that you need to release and let go. You can see here in this card, it's, when you get into this bubble of self-doubt and you've got all of these kind of thoughts, because fear isn't what hurts you. It's not what harms you. And fear can be really infinite. Like you can make up tons of things to be afraid about. It just feels like it's something that, I'm hearing control the controllables. Control the controllables. We get so much, far off on these thoughts about like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? That a lot of times we don't like bring it back and, okay, but I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. And if I trust my process, if I trust myself, if I trust my skill, fear isn't going to be a problem. And then one more of these for you. Self-reflection, very interesting. And I find that it's really interesting coming out over here on the Queen of Wands reversed, because I think that you need to maybe have some conversations with yourself, some pep talks, some kind conversations, like understand this, like this high priestess. I also love that we've got this water going on, and the high priestess is kind of dipping into the water because she is the quintessential intuition card. She's the quintessential, like, you know, what do you really want to do down deep? What are you really thinking down deep? What are your dreams telling you? What is your gut telling you? What is that thing that you know that's like beyond logic, that you may have been trying to back away from? But you know, like deep in your core, that you can do this and you can handle it. Also, this is really interesting because it's come up for me several times this week. And then we get this card where, you know, she's looking in a gigantic mirror. There is a technique of self-reflection where you speak to yourself in the mirror. I don't know, this will age me, this will show you how old I am, but if you remember Saturday Night Live, Stuart Smiley, you might want to Google that. The one with Michael Jordan is the best, where he says, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Okay, that was supposed to be funny, and it is funny. It's funny the way he does it, like these affirmations, but it is actually a really powerful technique to speak to yourself in the mirror. And it's come up several times, like in my Instagram feed this week, where people have been doing that. And I don't think I've ever kind of put that two and two together, that is a technique, even though I myself have done it. I used to do it all the time. When my parents were going through a divorce, I would talk to myself in the mirror, and I had a imaginary friend that I would talk to in the mirror. Her name was Sylvia. And that helped me get through a lot. And but then I feel like that at some point for me, like talking to yourself in the mirror kind of turns out to, it felt like vanity. Like by the time that I got to my teens. So I'm throwing that out there because I'm just telling you that it's not, and it's very helpful, and if it feels kind of weird, or it feels like vain, or it feels like, you know, look at yourself and tell you that you're beautiful. Those are the things that you need to do. Those are the loving self-care things that you need to do. And it's really interesting too, when you start talking, the things that come out of your mouth. Oh, also interesting. I watched a video of another tarot reader who is just phenomenal. I'm on her Patreon. She channeled the High Priestess, and the High Priestess lets go of all other thoughts. Like her mind is completely blank, so that when she encounters a problem, she doesn't have like this preconceived judgment that's already like rolling around in her head. She just goes for the best solution to her problem. But it reminds me of the self-reflection technique, because it's amazing the things that come out of your mouth when you start talking, and when you start talking to yourself, and when you have like an emotional problem. It's right. It's really helpful to talk to other people. Like sometimes our words in our head don't match the words that come out of our mouth. And I feel like that's just another way of looking at a problem, is, you know, standing in front of a mirror, talking to yourself, telling yourself, I feel like this because of that. And then once you start rolling, like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden something like amazing comes out. Maybe it's one of these fears and you're like, why am I so worried about that? Why is that the thing that's holding me up? And I think that's what can help turn around the self-confidence thing for you. So look into positive affirmations to tell yourself. Start looking in the mirror, and when you see yourself in the mirror, see somebody who is beautiful looking back at you, because you are beautiful or handsome, feminine, masculine, however you want to identify yourself, however you want others to see you. See that in yourself first. And I feel like the High Priestess is so integral to that for you. So that's what I have for you, group 2. Very interesting. I love this buffalo spirit. I almost feel like there's something here with the texture of the coat of the buffalo too. Something fluffy and fun and joyful. Like if you've ever, you know, pet that kind of animal that has that type of, that curly fur, it is just really cozy and joyful too, because I'm getting that really cozy and joyful feeling looking at him, which is kind of counter to the Page of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. But I think that's, you know, the High Priestess is over here focused, so it's like focus on your strength, focus on your joy, focus on your warmth, focus on your beauty, focus on you. And I feel like this is a week to kind of get those things together. So that's what I have for you, group 2. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, group 3, and welcome to your reading for this next week. So if you picked 3, or you liked the deck, or you liked this Echeveria with the pumpkin sugar skull, I'm just gonna tip it so you can see it. You are in the right spot. And I don't have any cards out because I am shuffling on camera. So the first card, we're using 3 decks here. The first card I'm going to pull for you is the energy of your next week. These are animal spirit cards, and this is just going to point us in the right direction for your next week. Ooh, brown bear spirit, take time out. It's really interesting because I feel like all of these piles have had very, very different messages coming through for each of you, especially when we start with this one for you, the take time out. You know, bears hibernate. And that's what I'm feeling. It's time to take a break. It's time to take a rest. If you're feeling a break, take that break. It's time to rejuvenate. It's time to let go of some things. But you're going to do that by pressing the pause button. You know, with you know, I say rejuvenate here because it's a reset. It's a time of a reset. And let's pull some cards out of this tarot deck. I don't work with it very often, but it's got some really cool imagery, as you can see here with our King of Wands reversed. I'll show it to you upright just so you can see. Great dragon. Okay, we've got a dragon and a bear so far. And let's see, what else for group 3 for next week? What can you tell me for group 3 for next week? 6 of Wands. Interesting. It's interesting with the bear spirit. Just one, or just 2 more. And this one fell out. 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Getting some mixed messages here, and that might be why you need to take a time out. And then we've got the Queen of Swords reversed. Yeah, so it feels like, well, we've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords reversed. It feels like you're not really confident in where you're going. You're not really, logically, it doesn't feel right. You don't feel like maybe your heart's not in it. you're not really passionate about it. And then we come over here to the Queen of Wands, that it doesn't feel true to you. It doesn't feel like your true path. It doesn't feel like your truth. And then it impacts kind of these other things here. When we've got the Six of Wands, the Six of Wands is actually a good card, and it's kind of, I feel like it's more of an introspective card here with the brown bear spirit when we're taking time out. And the Six of Wands, I feel like you need to take, you know, if you're kind of like in a kind of a kind of a framework, if that's what you're feeling like right now, because you just don't have this confidence, you don't have this passion, you don't have this drive, you're not really feeling it, right? And we got okay, it's like, all right, take a break and reflect on the good things though, because a lot of times we're like, I'm not really happy with my house. Okay, but like 5 years ago, you know, you dreamed to be where you are right now. Or, I'm not really happy with my vehicle. Okay, but like, you know, you've driven vehicles before that didn't have a heater in them or something like that. So this is reflecting back. Let's take that victory lap. Let's kind of be grateful for the things that you've done and the things that you've accomplished. Even if at this point you're not really feeling it, you're not really seeing it, you're not really, it's not really going perfectly. It's not going the way that you want it to go. Five of Pentacles comes in here, and it's almost like a result of these other two cards, because Five of Pentacles talks about, it's like the first of many defeats here on our path, on our journey. That we're just feeling defeated. We're feeling like we're left out in the cold. It's interesting too when we have the bear spirit and the Five of Pentacles. If you're watching this video as, you know, close to the time that I uploaded it, because we're, you know, today it's kind of, for me, it's kind of cold. We're thinking about getting snow, and so it's these cards have like kind of a seasonal feel to them as well. For the Five of Pentacles though, I mean, usually you're just like, I'm feeling like left out in the cold, but there's like a glimmer of hope. There's like something out there that you're not seeing, because you're kind of so focused on this kind of glum attitude that you have, kind of like things aren't perfect for you. Things aren't going the way that you wanted them to. And I feel like if you spend some time with the Six of Wands energy, this energy of, you know what? I did do a really good job with that. And you know what? I should be happy about that thing. And you know what? I do really love where I live, and I love my house. If you spend some time with this gratitude while you're just relaxing, give yourself a break. It's like, give yourself a break. And give yourself, and be grateful for where you are and what's going on. And maybe you are like sleeping on your friend's couch. You know what? You have some really great friends. Maybe you did have to move back in with your parents. You know what? You have some great parents if they let you, you know, if you're able to do that. Like a lot of people aren't. And I feel like, you know, just giving yourself a break, like you don't have to be perfect 100% of the time. And we're not always going to be like winning everything 100% of the time. And I also feel like a lot of this might be like, you might need to take a break from social media. That's not real. That crap is not real. Because if you're looking at your friend group or your peer group, and it looks like everybody is accomplishing things, and they're all, you know, nobody puts their defeats out there. Nobody puts their sadness out there. They very rarely do. You can't compare yourself in that way. There's even, you know, like Instagram models. There's even, a lot of them will do pictures of like, it's poses, it's lighting, it's, you know, the way it's what they're wearing and how they're sitting and where the camera is, that kind of thing. So it's not perfect. Things aren't perfect. And I think it's kind of like this week is a week for you to kind of reflect on that. Maybe forgive yourself for if you're not acting the way that you should, or if you don't have the joy that you think you know, you're not, it just feels kind of like you're just not passionate about something, or you're just not, you're not hearing the things that you want to hear. You're not, in the, you know, it's just not, things aren't going the way that you think that they should. But I feel like you're kind of fixated on one thing, and I feel like you kind of need to just pull back, take a break, give yourself a break, relax, and don't get all wrapped up and don't get all worried about things. And for me, when I used to get like overwhelmed with work, my my partner and I, we would go and we'd be like, you know what? Let's go to Starbucks. We would go and walk over to Starbucks. Like, yeah, I know I've got these 50 things to do, and but I really need to take a break right now. And that's what this is. And the thing is things can change so quickly. And then we would get back and we'd have a game plan, and then we would just work on it, and somehow it would get done. Like if we needed to take an hour for lunch, we would do that. Okay, very interesting. So we have discernment, number 10. We also have will, and we also have hunger, which is the wolf moon. So two waxing gibbouses. Waxing is maxing. That's when the moon is slowly going from the new moon to the full moon. It's getting larger. Like this is a great time for growth. So I feel like even if you are taking a moment out, you're taking a break, you're kind of like giving things a break and letting things grow. When you work out, even like with your muscle, you have to give it a break. You have to let it rest for a second, because that's when it's gonna like rebuild itself back stronger. So that's what I'm getting here with this waxing gibbous moon. That growth is here for you, but it's like just this week is kind of like a slow growth. Even if you don't push, or even if you don't pick things up, or if you know I feel like you have this kind of like will here. We get the will card to see your vision through, but it's kind of like just detach from that vision for a minute and let it grow on its own, and then we're gonna come back to it at a later date. We're not gonna hurt ourselves. We're not gonna knock ourselves out like trying to overcome things, okay? Discernment. This is really, really important, discernment. It is, and I kind of almost feel like it's really related to the Six of Wands, but it can be related to the King of Wands reverse too, right? Because discernment is, you know, kind of like we're picking out those things that we're focusing on. We're picking out those things that matter to us. Well, it's a double-edged sword. It can go either way. When we've got the King of Wands in reverse and we've got the Queen of Swords in reverse, we're picking out the things that are going negative. We're picking out the things that we don't like, and we're completely focused on those. But if we want to turn some things around, like with the Six of Wands energy, it reminds us that, hey, you have to like give yourself some credit for your wins. Give yourself some credit for the positive things that are going on right now. And then, you know, when you do that and you live in that gratitude, then all of a sudden, like, okay, this feels good. This feels better. Okay, I see what I did there, and oh, I can do that the same way, and maybe things don't feel so overwhelming now, and maybe I can start building my passion back and start seeing this through to fruition. And then we've got hunger, full moon, and with a wolf on it. So I feel like you're like an ambitious person. I feel like you have this ambition behind you, and that's the King of Wands reverse and the Queen of Swords reverse, right? And you might even be someone who wants like all the details perfect. And maybe that's not what's happening right now, and you kind of need to let that go, and that's like, so we have to take a rest. I also find it interesting that we have like a bear here that has kind of like bulked up on food and ready to hibernate, and then we've got this wolf that's out here going after things and who's hungry. I feel like make sure you take that rest. Make sure you get in the right frame of mind, because you will feel this hunger again. You will feel this ambition again. You will go out and accomplish things again. So just enjoy the downtime. But this hunger can be really helped when you focus, going back here to discernment, focus on the right things. It reminds me of that, I don't know the exact origin of it. It comes up a lot as a Native American proverb where there's a good wolf and there's a bad wolf. And the good wolf, you know, is joy and happiness, and the bad wolf is anger and jealousy. And they are fighting inside of you. And the young man says to the elder, like, well, which wolf wins? And the elder says, whichever wolf you feed. So I feel like that's why we've got this discernment and the Six of Wands here, because you need to take a moment and figure out which wolf it is that you want to feed. And then, you know, this will and this hunger is so much like this ambition that I'm feeling, like this ambition, like you don't want to take this break. You don't want to sit back and relax. I can feel that. It's not going to be forever. But it feels like you just need to pull back for a second, take some deep breaths, and really kind of like reassess some things and figure out what is important and what's not important. Because right now, everything that's coming at you, you're looking at a lens of like, I'm not excited about that. I don't want to do that. I'm not happy about that. It's not going where I want. You're feeding on the bad wolf. So you got to pull it back. It's almost like a purge. It's a stop. We got to pull it back, and then we've got to go here and feed this good wolf, because that's going to take you to where you want to go. That's going to get this fire burning. That's going to make you feel like you're on the right path. It's going to bring in those correct thoughts, those positive thoughts, those positive ideas, those positive, you know, it's going to create that creative, like, you know, I feel like a lot of creative and energy like bubbling under the surface, but if it's not directed or handled in the right way, you kind of get in this rut of like, I don't know what to do with it. You're going to find a way to do with it. You're going to know where to go with it. You just need to take a moment of pause and relax and focus on that gratitude, focus on the positive things, focus on your wins. And then you're going to see where you're going to go and win more. So that's what I have for you, Group 3. I hope you have a fantastic week. Take a break, take a rest, be in the moment, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you.